Okay, I want to show everyone how to use Markdown and GitHub Pages to publish your work. So this is based on the assumption that you're not using R Markdown to publish everything. Like let's say you wrote something that's more like in Microsoft Word form. By the way, this is just a guide on GitHub. I'll leave this open so I can remember some things like images and links. And what I'm going to do is go to github.com/my username. And go to my repositories and create a new one. Okay, and so let's imagine this is my final project and it's on crime. I'm just going to do this quickly, so I won't actually write a description. I'm going to say add a readme file. That's at readme.md. And then create repo. By the way, the weird sounds you hear are my cat, Moxie, playing with Crinkle by herself. Okay, so here's where I end up. You can see it's got its own URL. It's a repository. It's got its readme.md. So MD stands for Markdown. And that's why we can do some cool stuff with it. Let's see if I can get it set up. So what we need to do is tell this to be a website, basically, to act like a website, display like a website. So here's where stuff gets new. I'm going to go to the settings of this repo, and then go down to pages over here, almost the bottom of the navigation. Okay, and under source, I'm going to choose the branch. It's the only branch you've got. Mine's called main. Yours probably is as well. And before we can do anything with that, we have to hit save. Okay, after we do that, it's going to say our site is ready here. But hang on, I want to choose a theme. These are the different themes. They'll give you a little preview. That's a bit much. Yeah, there's another page. I'll do this one. Okay, so select theme. And you'll see what it does is it's going to populate this whole README with a bunch of example Markdown code. Now, everything I've done hasn't been saved yet. I would have to scroll down and hit commit changes. And that takes a little getting used to if you're editing this. So let me show you that. First of all, there's a preview tab, so I can click that and it will show me what it would look like. Okay, we go back to edit file, scroll down and hit commit changes. Okay, so what did we do? We went to settings and then pages. We set this up and we chose a theme. We can always change that later. And what you'll see here is your site is ready to be published at, and this is a different URL. Can you see that this, well, it's a different URL. Let me control click that and open it up. So this is what my project is going to look like. And now I just want to edit it. So let's start with some basic editing stuff. Let's see, I'll go to crime. Now again, I'm just editing this readme.md. The only other file I've got here is this config. This is actually setting the theme and the name and stuff like that. We can edit that too. I'm gonna click this edit button, this little pencil. Okay, and here's the like, ta-da, you're on GitHub Pages, and it gives you all these examples. So I'm gonna get rid of all that. And let's say my report, okay, it's on crime, right? So I'll do one hashtag for basically an H1 tag and say, you know, crime rates over time. I'm very bad at doing fake stuff. Okay, I didn't capitalize that either. And hopefully as a reminder, I can go down like 2 hashtags to be a little smaller. I could say like by Brian Walsh. Let's see, 3 is a little smaller. How about May 2021? And if I want to write paragraphs, I'll just write a I'll throw some gibberish in here. Very impressive. And if I preview my changes, it's going to look really confusing at first. This threw me off at least. So all this red stuff means I'm getting rid of it. Anything green means I'm adding it. There's also a yellow. We'll maybe see that later. Let me hit commit changes. Okay, now you can see I've gotten rid of all that stuff, and now it's just what I was typing. So that's my big text, smaller text, slightly smaller text, paragraph text. So I would just write out paragraphs here, right? Okay, let's edit it some more. How about adding a link? Let's see, I just had that open. Here's links. And basically what it's trying to say here, if I zoom in a little bit, is the text that's going to be a link you put in little square brackets. And then in parentheses, right after it, you put the actual link. So let's say I wanted to link to this page. I'm going to copy its link, and let me get over to where here's my page. So I believe what I do is create a square bracket and say, let's see, how to use Markdown. That's just the name of the link. That's what you'll see. That looks like a link and changes your cursor's appearance when we preview this. So let me close that bracket, and then right after this in parentheses, I'm going to hit paste, and that's the URL. Okay, let me preview that. And it says how to use Markdown. That'll be a new thing. And if I click on it, I should go there. I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to hit save. How to use Markdown. All right. So that link is working. So that's how we add links. Again, that is from guides.github.com. Features, mastering Markdown. What was the other thing I wanted to add? Let's see. Okay, so we can obviously lists. Images we don't do too much. So let me talk about the three things that we would do the most commonly in our projects. So that would be adding some code, adding an image coming from R, and embedding a Tableau map, I guess, or visualization. All right, so the first one I said was adding some R code. So let me bring this guy into the mix. So here I am in the middle of a project, let's say, and this is the code that I want to throw into a code chunk. So here's what I can do is say, just like in R Markdown, 3 backticks, and I'm going to write R. I am not putting it in squiggly brackets. 3 backticks, and then let me see if I paste this code in. I've got a lot of extra real estate here. I hit return too many times. Okay, and let's preview that. Great. That looks really cool. So I'll commit that. So that's how you can add your code. And you can see it's even color coding and stuff. Again, really all I did is add the backticks and then close them. I did write R, but I didn't put squiggles around it. You can't write like echo equals false or anything like that. That's not gonna listen to that. So that's how we can add some code. Let's say I run this code, this at the bottom. I'm going to get a printout like this, right? It's like a table. It's really long too. So let me say, and head 10. Okay, 12. My fingers disagreed. Okay, so there's the 12, whatever we're looking at. So let's say I want to put that table, this table I had down here, in my report. Well, I would say the best way to do that is I'm going to say and knitter : cable. Now, I know that looks weird, but you probably remember cable, and it is a function that comes out of the knitter package. So this double colon basically means using this package, run this function. Why are we doing that? I don't know. No, this is the main reason is it's going to look different down here. You can see it has these like straight lines that indicate, columns, and then there's, it's all laid out. It looks a little bit better, right? We would use this to knit in R Markdown, right? Well, so why am I having you do cable? If we take a look at, where is tables in here? Here's tables. You put a dash for the first row, and you put a pipe for the second row. So it's already done that for us. What I mean is, if we want a nice table that looks like this, all we have to do is in our R document, we run this cable thing, and then look what we can do. Here's my table. I'm going to grab it just by copying it right from here and pasting. Having a little trouble. Let's see. There we go. Copy. That's not what we want. This is. Nope. This is. Okay, so right down here, I'm not in a code chunk. I'm just going to paste that, and let's preview the changes. Oh, yeah. Commit. All right, now we've got a nice table in there. How about making something that is a visualization coming from R? Well, this is going to be a static visualization. Right? I'll just do this one, right? I've generated something for zip code. So the only way we can get an image into GitHub Pages is to upload it to the internet. The easiest way to do that is to just upload it to our GitHub Pages repository. So here's my image, and I'm going to click export. I'll save it as an image. So by default, it's going to save as a PNG. That's fine. Mine's set to save to the desktop. Make sure you check that so it doesn't save in some weird place. Our plot is not very descriptive, so I'll call this zip codes. You can see it has width and height, so if you end up exporting this and you're like, whoa, that's totally the wrong size, you can always adjust it. This is one way you can adjust it. It's just resizing this, right? And it will do it accordingly. So if you're thinking like, I would like this to be, well, look at the data. It would be better taller than wide. So maybe like that. Looks pretty good, right? Let's make sure we maintain our aspect ratio. Actually, it might look better if we squish it a little bit. Let's see, I'll turn off maintain aspect ratio. Let me squish it a little bit. Let it adjust. That looks fine to me. So let me hit save. Now remember, it's going to save as zipcodes.png on my desktop. So save. I have already made this. Okay, but let's overwrite it. Apparently I've tested this. Now, how in the world do we get that into, not here, but here? Well, remember, this is a GitHub repository, right? So what I can do is go back to crime. I'm going to the main branch of this repo. You can see the README. It shows up automatically, so that's all the work we've done. Here's the files that we've uploaded here. And what I'm going to do is add file, upload files. And I can just drag it over. Let me do choose files, and there's zip codes. So let me hit open. Zipcodes.png, commit changes. So it processes, and you can see we now have zipcodes.png. How do we add that down here? I'm going to edit. And let me go to the bottom of our page. I'll put it after our table here. You might remember for a link, we put like a square bracket, and we wrote like what you would click on for the link. I'm going to write crime by zip code. That would be the alternate text for this image. And what we have to do to make it an image instead of a link is go right before these square brackets and put an exclamation point. The mistake I made is I put the exclamation point inside the brackets. Don't do that. And then after this, in parentheses, we put the name of the file, zipcodes.png. Now, since I uploaded this to our repository, we should not have to add a path or anything like that. Let me hit commit changes. And there it is. Try to embed a Tableau map. Let's see. So here's my map. And I'm going to click the share button and then grab this embed code, which is really long. In GitHub pages, I'm going to go to edit this file, and I'm just going to put this at the bottom. And I'm going to paste, and it's big and messy, but that should be okay. Here's where the script starts. I'm just going to spread it out a little bit. Shouldn't actually matter, but we'll see. What we want to avoid is having this show up. And let me commit the changes. In my experience, this takes a little bit of time to kind of to kick in. So we can preview it here. Let's see. Okay, it appears to be showing up. You can see we have this content down here. I'm not super worried about that. We could always fix that. But here is my document. I just refreshed it, and it looks like it's showing up. Let's see.